crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, we can find your way, babe. Your way, babe. We can find your way. Yeah, take a look around you, we can find your way, babe. Way, babe. We can find your way.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments, you had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth, and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had, stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical.
Clearly now, the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real gang, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines when you find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Yeah, talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
Swole, Norma.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 3287 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in Zahraelm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustles, and yo-hos? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you as powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you bees.
The fucking Catalina one.
All right, fam, welcome to the show. Hashtag Make America Swole. Drop that in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here today. I am rocking the brand new, I finally got mine in, the notretarded.com shirt. Yes, you can get yours over at papaswolio.com. Fantastic. Looks great. Looks awesome. Obviously, we are off an amazing announcement yesterday. We got some brand new products that are coming soon. We talked about Mane Gains, Scalp Seed, and Bull Cream. So the imminent drop is coming soon. We talked about that yesterday, so we'll keep you updated for that. Join the fam over at swolenormousx.com, and members will get first dibs on that new launch when it's live, so you'll have more information to come soon. Let's get into today's episode. Just the Tip starts right now. We got some more awesome Swole fan posts from yesterday. Let's get into it.
Babe, just an inch.
It's cold outside. All right. Michelle says, I ordered the notretarded.com shirt. Are there still issues? We'll take care of it on our end. Did it say not shipping? Is there issues, or when did you order it? There shouldn't be any issues. If you have any questions, make sure you contact the support directly, not myself. So if there's any, we work through any kind of issue. Sometimes things have an issue with printing. We fix on the back end. So if there's any delays, a lot of times, by the way, it does happen where someone will order a shirt and then there'll be some kind of copyright or issue. So we have to change or tweak or re-upload or do something with the design. So if there's any kind of delay when you order something, usually that's what it is. And just stay tuned, because if you want the shirt, it's worth it. But sometimes there are some issues. We try to push things through the best that we can. So make sure you're just patient, and you can contact support. Okie dokie. Yeah, so contact support. That's probably what the concern is. All right, let's get into some Swole fan posts. I am not the support team, so I have
What's in the box?
All right, the most important advice you would give yourself if you could go back in time. We got a lot of great replies to this text, so let's get into a few more. Christian says, to start a consistent mobility practice sooner. Even though I have practiced yoga for over 20 years, I have found that the practice of working mobility specifically for daily function and for injury prevention to be beneficial as I get older. We underestimate the importance of mobility training in our daily lives. Trust me, it matters as you get older. My younger self would have greatly benefited from more of it. I agree. This is something that you can start implementing, something called like micromobility. Do a little bit every day. You could do this throughout the day. Bend down, touch your toes, get into a deep squat. You can jump into these things. The more you practice regularly, the more you can kind of tap into this throughout the day. So little mobility sessions could be 5 minutes, 5 times throughout the day. So jump into it. I agree, Christian. That would have been a great thing to start younger. It's always good to start that. Frank says, F rank. So weird. Drugs will take time away. Will take away time. Drugs will take away time from who you could become. Cool is a state of mind and really good marketing. Do everything you fear after that every door will open for you. It's hard to believe, but your mother is almost always right. Love yourself first and always. Last but not least, dogs before cats. Sorry, it's true. Dogs care and cats are assholes. There's a lot of little nuggets in here. So yes, doing things to be cool, like drugs to be cool. Hey, you're not cool. Peer pressure. We all know what peer pressure does. And maybe when you're in high school, you're younger, it's peer pressure to smoke weed or drink or something when you're not supposed to, right? Do things you're not supposed to. But when you get older, the peer pressure is to, again, do things that you shouldn't be doing. Just sit around and just watch movies and TV all the time, to sit around and eat garbage and drink alcohol. Those things don't change. And we know what peer pressure is. It's usually just a cope or a tactic in order to not get out of your comfort zone, to not do things you should be doing, to avoid discipline, to avoid accountability and responsibility. So that translates into adulthood and other ways that we deal with, especially if you're trying to improve your health and people around you aren't supportive, et cetera, et cetera. Mom is almost always right. Again, this comes down to wisdom. This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing by giving advice to your younger self. What advice that you've accumulated, experience that you've accumulated over the years. And just because you're older and maybe you're not successful in certain ways, there's always people, even as you get older, where you can get advice or you get examples from. It's not just what to do, it's what not to do. You can use other people's experiences as a lesson to avoid. So there's lessons in things that are even failure. Okay. You're going to learn a lot from other people's failures, or seeing what other people that you don't want to be like, what do they do? Let me avoid those things, because that can lead to pitfalls. And I agree. Dogs over cats, 100%. I'm sure a bunch of you have cats. I've had cats in the past. If we ever got a cat, it'd be like a Sphinx cat, but dogs are based. Dogs are absolutely 100% better than cats. Dogs are better. If you want a cat without the downsides, get yourself a Chihuahua. A Chihuahua is the best dog/cat. It's the best parts of a dog and the best parts of a cat. Get yourself a Chihuahua. You won't regret it. I'm telling you. A Chihuahua is essentially a dog that thinks it's a cat, which is awesome. Team dog. Team dog. And this is not to hate on anyone that has cats. So if you have a cat, I know you don't care. You love your animals. I get it. Gabrielle. YOLO seems good when you're young. These are such great responses. I love them. YOLO, meaning you only live once, seems good when you're young because you don't want regrets from experiences you could have had. But if you don't care for your mind, body, and spirit as you get older, you will not get to fulfill a life of fullness. You won't be able to climb to the top of the mountain with your kids and revere the view. You won't get to see your 60th birthday and enjoy it. Fuel the body with nutrition, the mind with spirituality or mindfulness and intention. Fuel your environment with like-minded people and those who challenge you to determine why you believe the way you do. Excellent. Thank you for sharing, Gabrielle. Appreciate you. And I agree. We talk about regrets a lot. As you get older, there's certain things that you might regret. But one of the things you want to make sure as you live your life, you want to make sure that you avoid those things. But of course, you have to choose your regrets. So you might not regret certain things. You might be like, oh, I never jumped off a cliff. I never went skydiving. There's some people that have those kinds of bucket list ideas. I don't know why jumping out of a plane and getting as close to death as possible is a bucket list. So I don't know why people feel that need to go skydiving. It's kind of like a weird thing. It's like a midlife crisis type thing, or oh, I don't know what to do. Let me just jump out of a plane. Wow, what a rush. So, some people are going to like those things. That's fine. But you have to pick your regrets. That's a great quote that I forget who said that, but you have to pick your regrets. So by doing one thing, you're not doing something else. By doing one thing, you're just objectively not doing something else. So anytime you're focusing your attention on something, you are not doing a million other things. So pick the things that are important to you. And remember, it only has to be important to you. It doesn't have to be important to your neighbor down the street. And this is why when you hear the phrase keeping up with the Joneses, someone else gets a nice car, so you feel like you have to compete with them. Stop comparing your life and what you want to do and what you find joy and what you find beauty in to other people. Do what you enjoy. Fulfill your life. That's what's most important, because you're the only one that has to live with your life. Remember, it's a story you tell yourself. So no one remembers your past. No one knows what you're thinking. And people just project their own enjoyment or their own insecurities onto other people. And that's why you get pushback when you're trying to excel. You're trying to follow your 7 pillars. You're trying to improve yourself or live your own path. It doesn't matter what other people think, right? It really doesn't. That's good, Aaron. A quote from Jordan Peterson. You get to pick your damn sacrifice. That's it. You don't get to not make one. Should we say it? Should we say it like Jordan Peterson? You get to pick your damn sacrifice. That's it. You don't get to not make one. That wasn't that great. Not bad, but I haven't tried to do a Jordan Peterson. To not. You got to get that voice right. No, I can't. Fucking Canadians. Constitutional stacker with a huge fucking L. What a big L. Come on, dude. Hell no, those are homo dogs. I make fun of my buddy all the time about having one. Labs, Rotties, Germans, Dobies. That's a real dog. Get the fuck out of here. Go fuck yourself. You're telling me that this is not a real dog? Look at this. This is a dog. What are you talking about? Look at her. You're not a real dog. Constitutional Stacker on YouTube says you're not a real dog. How do you feel about that? Oh, she's not impressed. It sounds like a character from Letterkenny. Yeah, all the Canadians sound like they're from Letterkenny, so that doesn't help. Now, there's the big dog. You're a homo. Why are you such a fag? She looks around. Weak impression. I'm glad I don't sound like Jordan Peterson. No regrets. All right. Isaiah says, what's up, Papa? Biggest advice I'd give myself is alcohol isn't worth your time and health, and you don't need it to have fun. I unfortunately had to realize how important fitness was to me by having alcoholic tendencies and getting a herniated disc because of it. Some of the most painful and forever memorable times of my life was being 65% mobile, unable to stand up straight or do a lot of physical activity. I took it all for granted because I wanted to have fun and party. Once that happened, along with a DUI charge, I realized what was important and what was necessary. I got 3 steroid injections in my spine and started doing yoga. Over the span of 6 months, I was about 90% recovered and finally back on track to normality. But an injury like that is lifelong. Now that I regularly do yoga and strength training almost daily, I'm the strongest I've ever been and continue to get stronger each week, pushing my PRs. It's something that had to happen, but I wish it wasn't so extreme for me to value exercise and strength training. Yeah, agreed. Where is this? Unfortunate to realize. Yeah, alcohol is a big one. Alcohol is a big one, and sometimes those injuries and the damage that you do can't be completely undone, but lessons learned, and oftentimes lessons learned the hard way, right? But this is what wisdom is. That's why you pass it on to your kids and share with other people. I've done things with fitness pretty much this whole podcast from the beginning, and everything that I do is focusing on the fundamentals, the most important things that I've distilled over time, of course, the 7 pillars. But a lot of what I share are things that I've done in the past that, hey, if I could go back, I wouldn't have done it the same way. If I could go back in time and train more like I was training now, I may or may not have made more progress. I look back and I think, would I have made as much progress? Because when you're pushing yourself to the limit, here's what it comes down to, like training to failure and pushing yourself hard. And this is why I've been commenting on X lately about, people that are new to the gym. Or, and they don't understand how to train hard. You don't know what your failure point is until you've trained to failure. You don't know what your limits are until you hit your limits. Same thing with alcohol, right? You don't know your limits, and this is why people overdrink. They get alcohol poisoning, they get hungover, and they throw up the whole next day, and they fucking destroy themselves because they don't know what their limits are. As you get older, you realize, hey, let me slow it down. Let me have a beer. And then if you're at a party, you have a beer. It was freezing up a second. We still live? Yeah. So you don't know your limits. And the same thing with training. Once you know your limit, and you're going to do this, you're going to train really hard, get really sore. You might get injured. Hopefully not. But if you don't push yourself to that limit, you don't know what that is. So people train and they think they're leaving a rep in the tank when they're leaving 3 reps or 4 reps. So until you train to failure, you don't know how to leave a rep in the tank until you have experience. So these kinds of experiences that you can pass on to other people can help them avoid. This is what wisdom is, living by experience. So you want to share that with people. And that's what this podcast is. It's just sharing things that I wish I would have done differently to help you fast track. It doesn't mean that you're not going to make mistakes, but it just might mean that you'll avoid some pitfalls that are able to be missed. Why do something that's not going to work for you and find out the hard way, help you navigate. The Daily Swole is your gains GPS. Micah says to figure out how to be consistent, don't get lazy during COVID, buy some kettlebells and actually work out. Don't sit around and mope. Change what you can change. Even after things got normal again, keep focusing on your physical health and attitude. If you get lazy now, all you're doing is fucking yourself over. Good points. Good points. Change what you can change. And this is what Saturday's episode was on Spotify. Control the controllables. If you're not even controlling what you can control, a lot of times your anxiety or that kind of constant angst and fear and stress that people have is because they're worrying about things that they can't control, or at least they can't handle or deal with right now. Just because you have something coming up next month doesn't mean that it's going to negatively or should negatively affect today. That's why meditation, unpacking the things that you can control and what you can actionably do today is the most important thing, because today is the only time you have. The past is a story you tell yourself. The future doesn't exist. The only time you have is now, so take action today. Loretta says alcohol is the most acceptable way to fuck your life up 100%. Yeah, it's a shame that it's accepted. It's accepted and promoted, especially around most friend circles. Dr. Delta, almost four years without a drink, never had a problem with alcohol, but started having headaches out of nowhere and decided it wasn't worth it anymore. Smart. I love that quote from Parks and Rec from Ron Swanson. Any dog under 50 pounds is a cat, and cats are worthless. I love that quote. I absolutely love it.
Give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
I love it. Constitutional stacker about chihuahuas. I dated a chick once that got one. He was cool. He wasn't a dick. Most of them have emotional problems. They have a big dog attitude. They get a pass. If they have a big dog attitude, they get a pass. Yeah, Chihuahuas are all different, and I never thought I'd like a Chihuahua. Papa Swole was half Chihuahua, and I didn't realize that some of the stuff I loved about Papa Swole the most was because of the Chihuahua component, because Pinkston has a lot of that, and it's how you raise them. So she's really friendly. She'll, bark at strangers and kind of get wary around certain people, but we socialized her when she was really young, so she's really friendly and really happy, and she loves people, and she doesn't. You see some people or couples online that post videos and the Chihuahua's like growling at the husband or growling at the wife. She doesn't. She's bonded to both of us. So it's all about how they're raised and socialized. And because Chihuahuas are they're pack animals, but also they're like lap dogs. So if a woman gets a Chihuahua, usually it's because they're alone and they're always on them. So they get really wary and defensive around other people if you don't socialize them properly. So if you socialize your Chihuahuas, they're awesome. They're awesome. But I agree. I used to think they were always yippy and annoying dogs, and I can see how that is. And some of them are really shaky and but Pinkston's awesome. Pinkston's awesome. And we already have the big one. So I don't have to worry about, I'll get people saying in videos, like, how come you have such a small dog? Well, it's because I have this freaking ogre, and it's a nice balance. So we got one of each. Really big and really tiny. We got like 120 and then 5 pounds. All right, are we ready for some questions? Let's get into them in a second. A couple more comments. Cerny says, this is why I tell people to fix your shit while you're still young. I promise you, if you don't, you'll pay the damn price. Not pretty. Agreed. All right, let's get into some questions. Hashtag Make America Swole. Let's get into some. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, today I am rocking the Not Retarded shirt. And if you order those, again, make sure you reach out to support. Sometimes with certain designs, there might be print issues with copyright or censorship. Believe it or not, a lot of these companies will be like, they'll flag that. We have to tweak something or re-upload or use a different provider. So if there's any delays with certain products, you can reach out, but they'll get shipped. They'll get shipped or you'll get refunded, but usually we just have to tweak a couple things to get them printed out. And sometimes certain regions, there might be more hesitation because we'll print all over the world. We don't have one location where we print. So it could be certain locations that might get certain sensitive or some kind of sensitivity to certain designs, which is fucking weird. Ogre. I love that word. It's such a great word. Ogre's underrated. Alex says, my mom has had her Chihuahua since I was 7. She's still kicking but blind and deaf, and she's been scared of wood floors forever. Matt the Great says, I had a 170-pound Great Dane. He was the biggest and sweetest lap dog ever. That's the thing. Rufus thinks he's a lap dog. He comes over and he'll literally sit on you. So you have to be careful. So if you're not paying attention, he'll just sit on the back of your leg, and if your leg's twisted, he'll like tear your ACL. So he's a big lap dog. You have to have a massive lap. You have to have a massive lap. And only for me, because I'm big, I can lift him up and flip him back, and he'll just lay on my stomach. Because I used to hold him like that when he was a puppy. So now he still loves to be held on his back. He just takes up my entire body. I'm like, good boy. Just a big oaf. All right, question time. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole. If you want to follow up to any of these topics or things that maybe you didn't answer, drop in the comments. Let's get into some TikTok questions. Let's get into some more Instagram story questions. Let's get into it. All right. The only problem with big dogs is how long they live. But luckily, Tainty Man's a mix, and he's been eating really good food. We give him collagen every day, and for his joints, beef, raw eggs, they eat good. I'm 6'4", and when my Dane stood on his hind legs, he would look me in the eyes. He was a brute. Big boy. Big boy. Tainty Man can do that. He could put his arms on Mama Swole's shoulders, and he's like the same height as her. I want to get some pictures like that. All right, D's Buds on Instagram stories. Papa Swole, can being on a 1,000-calorie deficit for a long time plateau my weight loss? If yes, how do I fix it? Yeah, not only is it going to plateau your weight loss, but it's going to shoot your muscle gain. You don't need 1,000 calorie deficit. That's absurd. What you need to focus on is the nutrition and the calories and the protein required to build muscle. So what you need to focus on is building muscle, sufficient protein to build muscle, and protein and carbs and fat for around maintenance for the body weight you're trying to hit, and to progressively overload. So if you're obese and you have that much fat to lose, you need to be building muscle. You'll accelerate your fat loss by building muscle. Again, if you're skinny, you need to build muscle. If you're obese, you need to build muscle. It's a muscle issue and it's an insulin sensitivity issue. A Weave 21, Papa Swolio. I have a cheat day like The Rock and Sylvester Stallone. Is that fine? Other than that, great food. I don't think so. I think that's a nonsense cope. You're not these guys that have a lot of muscle mass and are taking TRT, X, Y, and Z. I know it seems cool, but you're not The Rock. You're not Sylvester Stallone. And they're not even getting away with it. It's not good for your body. It's not good for their bodies. But just because you can eat a big, massive stack of garbage pancakes and like, hey, look, I'm eating this garbage. A lot of people on anabolic steroids can maintain their body fat percentage by eating garbage, but it's still poking holes in your gut, still causing inflammation. And you don't know these people's lives. You don't know what they go through. You don't know their health conditions. You don't know what their mental state is. You only see what they project on camera. You don't know anything about them. So I don't think it's fine. I think that's a cope. Hey, look, this person does it. That's the same thing that so-and-so was talking about alcohol. Like, we're doing it, so you can do it too. Why does that translate into your life? Just because someone else is doing something stupid doesn't mean you should. That's a silly cope. That's an excuse to do things that you shouldn't. That's just an excuse to do things that you shouldn't be doing. TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. True Big Ed, Papa Swolio, chest or bi? Chest or bi? Both. Both. Why would you?
Matt Damon.
I'm going to train my biceps, but not my chest. I'm going to train my chest, but not my biceps. Why would you pick one? Do both. Do both. Jess, the most beautiful queen. Don't trust anyone that has the most beautiful queen in their Instagram bio. That's one you probably want to stay away from. What's your favorite thing to have to eat? Well,
Bigos?
no, not Bigos. Well, Mama Swolio is my favorite. But, of course, steak. Steak, eggs, delicious food. All right. If any of you are doing TRT, you could drop it in the comments down below. We have all sorts of people, all different ages, all around the world, all different levels of experience. Yeah, whenever someone asks, usually, hey, what should I focus on most? You know, a lot of times we get questions about what body part to train. Again, the nuances of training. Most people don't have enough muscle mass to worry about nuances of training. Most people are asking about, well, how do I train the lats more effectively? Should I do pull downs? Should I do rows? Should I do this, that, and the other? If you don't know which one to do, you just don't have enough muscle mass. You know, if you're just training the body, if you're doing any kind of pull down, you could do wide pull downs and build a ton of muscle in your back. You could do rows and build a ton of muscle in your back. You could do all sorts of different types of presses. You could do barbell, dumbbell, flies. You could do pec deck machine, all sorts of chest presses. You could do weighted push-ups. There's a lot of ways to build muscle. The point is you want to progressively overload, and certain things are easier to progressively overload than others. You're only be able to progressively overload push-ups by doing more. There's a lot of fatigue. It's hard to load them. You can put someone on your back. You're going to put plates on your back. How do you get them up there? It's hard to load exercises like that. So it doesn't mean that you can't, but there are limitations. That's why if you're trying to build a lot of muscle, people just don't do weighted push-ups. They load weight on a bar or on a machine, et cetera, et cetera. User, do you monitor estradiol and DHT while on TRT? I don't take TRT. I'm not going to answer any questions on it because you should monitor everything. You should be getting blood work and all that stuff done. So I'm not here to give you advice or any specifics. I don't personally take TRT. I'm open to it. I've talked about it. I'm open to it. I'll tell you guys if I do, but no recommendations on that end. What I recommend is that people boost their testosterone and focus on the 7 pillars. If you focus on the 7 pillars, you'll boost your testosterone tremendously. Eating more steak, lifting weights, getting quality sleep, getting sunlight, full body sun, taking care of your health will raise your testosterone. And for a lot of people that have low T, just changing those environmental and lifestyle habits will boost your testosterone amazingly. And again, if in the future, if after doing all those things after time, it still seems like a good idea, you might not need as much, or you're going to have a nice foundation where you'll actually see more of the benefits of those things, because you don't want to have shitty habits, then be injecting and be like, hey, everything's going to be fine now. Your habits still suck. That's why taking all these experimental drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro and these types of things are nonsense, because you're getting a lot of additives and things that are damaging your body, in addition to the toxins in the there's a lot of different things that could be toxic in the body, especially the stabilizer and the additives. You should clean shave, Papa. No, I should not, and I won't. Clean shave. Get the fuck out of here. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a man.
Make me happy.
Alex says Papa on TRT would literally just go Super Saiyan. People ask me if I'm taking something. Oh, if I'm taking something, you would know. You wouldn't have to ask. That's all I'm saying. If I was taking something, you wouldn't have to be like, are you taking something? Papa's on something. You wouldn't have to ask. You wouldn't have to ask. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking something because I feel great. I'm sleeping great. I have a sick pump, and I look in the mirror. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I look like I'm on something. And maybe someday I will. But until then, I'm going to max out this fucking train best as I can. Let's see. The Phantom. Papa Soul, how to stay motivated all the damn time. By the way, you are awesome. Keep up the good work. You won't. I wouldn't worry about being motivated at all. Be inspired? Sure. Find purpose and discipline. And that's good. That's much more important than motivation. Again, it doesn't matter if you feel like training. How you know if you're seeing progress is if your numbers are going up. So if your weights are going up, your reps are going up, or both. If you're able to progressively overload, remember, the adaptation allows you to progressively overload. You're only able to lift more because adaptations were made. So if you did 4 reps on a set, and this happened to me yesterday, I did upper body, and the previous time I did 4 reps with a certain weight. I had 5 plates on a 25 on a chest press, and yesterday I did 5 reps. So previously I only did 4, and then yesterday I did 5, which means my sleep, my programming, the stimulus is on point through that exercise because I was able to add another rep. So adaptations were made. It's not like I expose myself to that strength and then I make adaptations. The stimulus previously and the nutrition and the recovery, et cetera, allowed me to get another rep. So and again, it doesn't mean that you're going to go up in weight every single time, but sometimes that last rep, let's say you got 5 and it was a struggle, because for me, that 5th rep was like a struggle. And sometimes I'll leave a rep in the tank, but I sent it and I got that 5th rep. So progressive overload will be next time doing the same weight, but that 5th rep goes up a lot easier. That's still progressive overload. And then eventually I'll be able to get a 6th rep, or I'll be able to add another pound or 2.5 and get 5 reps. And that's progressive overload. So cleaning up your form or that rep moving more smoothly is still an adaptation, because you still have to get through those 5 reps before you can add more weight or add another rep. So as you get heavier in weight, you're not going to see massive jumps, but if you're able to add a rep, or the form cleans up, or the speed of the rep improves, or you're able to add like a fraction of a pound, whatever it is, that's still progressive overload. So if the form improves or the speed of the rep, like you're struggling on that last one, and then eventually it's a lot smoother, you're making those adaptations. And leaving a rep in the tank is totally fine, because you're getting that stimulus, shaving off that last rep of fatigue. So rather than fighting through that last rep, the next time I do it, if I do 5.25 and I get 4 and I know I could probably get another 5, I might just leave that extra one. Sometimes I'll do that. So if I finally get that 5th rep, the next time I do it, I'll probably do 4 reps, and knowing that I could probably get another 5th one, I'll leave that one off. And then eventually I'll be able to increase the weight. You don't need that last final rep to failure in order to make those adaptations. So you can shave off some fatigue and still make your strength gains. You'll still see your numbers going up. It's still going to make that weight lighter and easier. You're still going to adapt. Alski just came to say that the shirt you're wearing is hysterical. Thank you. Check out the website. We're on TikTok right now, so I can't say it, but go to the website. Best website in the game. Am I natty? Yes, I am. And like I always say, I'll be transparent and let you guys know if I'm taking something. Because if I decide to take something, there'd be a reason. And then I wouldn't be recommending everyone else do it, but I would just tell you the story. And all my videos and all the podcast is literally me talking about this stuff. So if it ever comes up, I'd be transparent. It wouldn't be a recommendation that you should do the same, but I'm also going to be 42 in a couple months. So I'm in a different situation than those of you that are maybe 22. And you should really focus on the fundamentals, because when you do something like that, having that foundation is so much more important, and you'll get much more out of those things. So people ask me, hey, should I take creatine? Sure, creatine's great. I think pretty much everyone should be taking creatine. But creatine itself is not going to make or break all your progress. You still need all those fundamentals. So if you have everything else locked in, creatine is going to make much more of a benefit in your life. You're going to notice it more. Nick says, I have my new oversized pump non-toxic muscularity shirts in the wash. There you go. Nick, make sure you wash them properly. Did you look at the instructions? You don't want to dry, and you want to make sure you're careful with those shirts. You don't want to wash them and dry them like you do other shirts. So make sure you look at the tags, of course, because you want to air dry those if you want to keep them the same quality. And I'm sure you do. Well, it's not just the design, Nick. It's like the actual material. And if you want to look, anytime you're wearing shirts, I think we should talk about doing laundry more often. Turn your shirts inside out, because if the design is being like banged around, et cetera, if you're not using toxic stuff, it's much less likely to fade. But just turn your shirts inside out, and it'll keep the design fresh. And unless you're rolling in like absolute filth, you don't need to wash it in like super hot water and stuff like that. So all of it matters. Danny, I absolutely love that shirt. Thank you, dude. Go check it out, papasolio.com. Buy one, get one 50% off. Go to the website. It's a great website. Oh, no. Nick says I made that mistake with my Raise the Floor Sig Series shirt. Oh, no. Pam says inside out and dry on low. Agreed. So we do a lot of shirts, and I have so many shirts, so I just kind of, I'll flip them inside out, wash them, but we don't use any. If you're using really intense cleaners, which you shouldn't be, of course it could damage shirt. You're washing on high heat and you're drying it on high, things can crack and just be mindful. Follow the tag instructions. Good man. Loretta says I wash in cold water and air dry. They all still look great. Excellent. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate you. Love your shirt. Thank you, dude. How many days in a week do I work out? I work out about 4 or so days a week intensely. Like an upper lower split. Sometimes I'll do individual days off between. Sometimes I'll do full body, but usually I generally don't do more than 2 intense lifting days in a row. If I do it, I'll do upper lower and then maybe take a day or 2 off, depending. Campers, thank you for helping me drop 28 pounds and 6% body fat through your vids and lives. Well, that's fantastic. Good stuff. The wooden sticks, those are clubs. Clubs, Persian meals. I have a lot of clubs, maces. I have all sorts of tools for circular training and things like that. All right, drop your questions in the comments. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. We'll take a few more. Nick says, is the Artard shirt going to be made into a pump top? Maybe. Maybe just for you if there's a request. Papa will shave his beard and stop making videos of all of his followers everywhere go to the fucking gym. Oof. That'd be a hard thing to quantify. I don't think I would. I'll say I would, and then everyone goes to the gym like, I'm not shaving my beard, you idiots. But I'm glad you went to the fucking gym. But I'm glad you went to the gym. That's still good. Go to the barber. Well, I'm going to go on Thursday. I'm going to get my beard all cleaned up and get a nice braid on Thursday. All right. Last chance for questions. Drop in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole. Yeah, the pump covers are thick. So they're oversized tees. We call them the pump covers. And it's like a thick, oversized, canvasy type of material. So I really like them outside when I'm training too, because especially with the gym, and especially if you sweat a lot too, it doesn't like soak the shirt. So sometimes I'll just grab a t-shirt, I go outside, it's drenched. The pump covers, like, they'll get wet, but there's thick material. So if you're leaning on machines, you're less likely to slide around. They're actually great for training. They really are great for training. So I train outside. Obviously it's hot. I'm sweating a lot, but you're less likely to slide around because of the material. It's not going to get like drenched in like a cotton shirt. Those are cotton too, but it's like a thick weaved cotton. And it's I say more canvasy. That's the best way I can describe it. I forget like what it's called, in terms of like the weave, but it's a thick, great for cold environments. I can only imagine. The only issue is now when I'm outside, because I train outside, I'm in Florida, so it's hot. I don't need to lose more water when I'm outside, but it's awesome. Yeah, Nick says, with it getting warmer, my normal t-shirt had the bar rolling down my back and I would slide on the bench. Yeah, that's an issue, especially on your back. So the bar, unless you're putting chalk all over your neck, but a lot of gyms don't like that and it makes a whole mess. So it does give you a little bit more grip, especially if you're doing like a chest supported row or you're on a pec deck or something where you're leaning back. You don't want to slide on the bench. So you can put a towel down, but a pump cover is great for kind of locking you into a position. All right, on TikTok, little reps with time under tension or more reps until I can't no longer do a perfect rep. Well, that's task failure, and you want less reps with more weight. You're always getting time under tension. That's a big scam. So you don't want fake tension. And the problem with, I guess, people lifting light and going slow is that you're faking the tension. So if I pick up 20 pounds and I on purposely lift it very, very slowly, that's not more time under tension. That's just less mechanical tension, and it's more fatigue. So you don't want to actively control and slow down the concentric. You want to explode. You want the weight to be heavy enough to the point where your concentric reps are slow from the beginning, but you're pushing as hard as you can. You don't want to pick up light weight and just move it more slowly. That's bullshit. You might get a pump, you might get a burn, but that's not how you're going to build muscle. Papa Swole, Mexico loves you. Well, thank you, Mexico.
Hi, puppy.
Shout out to Mexico. Nick says, same here. My towels are usually soaked where I needed to and a spare shirt. Yeah, you could also wear a shirt underneath the pump cover, but you probably won't need to, especially if you're training inside. You're going to sweat, but I drench my shirts when I'm outside. So if you're inside, you'll be totally fine with the pump cover, especially because a lot of gyms have a lot of air conditioning. So if your gym has a lot of air conditioning and you're normally a little bit cold, it's a great thing to wear. Let's see if I pull them up. Men's. I want to get that. Hold on, I want to change something. I'm gonna make a section. I thought there was a section for pump covers, but I'm gonna add that. I want to add that to the men's section. So it's men's. So I'll say men's shirts, tanks, hoodies, pump covers. That way it's easier to track on the website. I just noticed we don't have that. Let me scroll down. So these are the ones that I'm talking about. If you're watching on TikTok, you can't see this. You can come watch on Rumble and YouTube, the oversized tees. So that's what Nick is juicing about. All right. Do I like heavy metal? I do. I do. All right, last chance for questions. Drop in the comments down below. A reminder, if you want to get on the email list, go to makeemailswoleagain.com. Again, that's makeemailswoleagain.com to get on the mailing list. Of course, if you're on the mailing list, you'll not just get Knowledge Cock in your inbox. You'll get a lot of other updates and exclusives. If you're on the email list, you get notified right away when we have new drops, etc., etc. New release over at papaswolio.com is Pumpachew. That's a great... Pumpachew. Pumpachew, great new design. Go and check it out over at papaswolio.com. Charles says, I was trying to find the pump covers a few days ago on the website. Yeah, we have them, the oversized tees, but I'm going to call them. We're going to make it so you can scroll on the men's. I guess it could be women's too. We'll get it so it's in the men's and women's pump covers. That way it's easier. That's the way it's easier to... A Pumpachew shirt. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great new design. Last chance for questions. Drop it in the comments, and then we'll move on to Balls Deep. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Let's see what else we got. Pumpachew. Sir trolls a lot. Well, that's for sure. This dude is exactly the type of guy that has no friends and has no friends growing up. I don't have shitty friends.
Come on, stop whining.
Most of you have a lot of acquaintances, but you don't have any friends. Most people don't have actual friends. They think they're their friends. They're actually just people that they know. So how many friends do you actually have? How many friends do you actually need? A lot of people have acquaintances and people they spend time with, but they're not actually their friends. So you might need to cull your community a little bit. Knowing people does not mean you have friends. And the way and the things that I'm aware of and the things that I like to talk about and things that I like to do, quality over quantity, 1,000%. Quality over quantity. I think that was the biggest scam with Facebook. Remember, it's like, add friends. And people are like, I have thousands of friends. No, you don't. You went to school with someone 20 years ago and they're your friend. It's really just people. It's not really friends. What's up with the name on your shirt? Oh, it's the best website in the game. Check it out. Go to the site. Keep your circle small. Easy to get distracted. Again, most people, period, just want something for themselves. They want your time. They want your attention. People are always coming after you for time and attention. And the more sovereign you are, the more independent you are, you can make better decisions. And you need to keep your circle small. So everything and everyone in your life, period, wants something from you. They want your time. They want your attention. Same thing with your phone. Your phone wants your time and attention. Your TV wants your time and attention. Everything wants your time and attention. So where you give it is important. Dragon Spitfire went from 395 pounds to 293 in 8 months. Good for you. Good for you. That's fantastic. Good for you. Good for you. All right. If there's questions coming in after the buzzer, that's fine. If you're watching on TikTok, click the link in my bio and go to the website. You'll see links for all the merch, buy one, get one 50, and also the links for the podcast on YouTube and Rumble, because we're going to continue the show, but we're shutting down TikTok. So make sure you follow the page and come on over to the Daily Swole on Rumble or YouTube. And the links are on the merch page in the main menu. So you don't have to go to different sites. Go to the merch page and you could find the app. You could find memberships, programs, all that stuff, in addition to links for the podcast. All right. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into some more Balls Deep. Let's do it.
That's deep.
All right. Cerny says most people aren't worth your attention. That's true. That's true. So the most valuable asset is not your time. It's where you give your attention. So you might be someplace, you're at your kid's baseball game or you're outside. But then if you're on your phone, you're on your phone. So you could be doing two things at the same time, but you're dividing your attention. So be in the moment. The only time you have is now. You don't have an hour from now. You don't have an hour in the past. It's just right now. So what are you doing? Try to focus 100% on whatever you're doing. And if it's sucking your time, cut that out and do something else, right? Disconnect from the phone. Make sure you're being proactive. Of course, I run my business online, so I have to be plugged in to an extent, but you have to very much monitor your attention and make sure that you are focusing on the things that are most important in your life. Swole Sama says, most people can't handle the level of honesty it takes to be friends with me. That circle is conveniently small. Yeah, and I see people online where they say, one thing that I like doing now, it's so much nicer to cancel plans and to say no. You got to say no to more things. People say yes to things and they go to places, they go to events, they go to all these different things that serve other people, but they don't want to go. So many people do things all the time that they don't want to do. I don't want to do anything that I don't want to do, ever. Ever. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And it's so important to be able to, and other people might have their opinions. They're fine to it. They're welcome to their opinions. Their opinions are none of your business. It doesn't mean you're rude. It just means that you're not spreading yourself thin, running around, going to every birthday party and every wedding and every fucking event. You don't need to. And society and social structures has come to a point where, like, if you don't do that, and then people do things because they feel, oh, someone else is going to think this, or someone else, oh, but so-and-so. What consequences? What are you talking about? If you focus on the things that you want to do, you're going to be happy. Don't do things because other people want you to do them. Do them because you want to do them. And when you live that way, things get a lot quieter. They get a lot quieter. They get a lot more focused. And you really start to love life a lot more because you're not diluting yourself. And I don't mean diluting, not diluting with a D, diluting like water. You're watering it down. And if you're spending your time and you're spreading your attention every which way, guess what? It's just, you don't have much left for yourself. So again, filling your own cup, focusing on your thing, and do the things you want to do. No is the most important thing. It's the most important word. The most important word. It's my favorite. No is one of my favorite words. Retarded is another one. There's a lot of favorite words I have, but no is right up there. It's a top three. It's a top three. You don't need explanations too. No. But what? No. The answer is no. You don't need explanations. You don't need follow-up. Oh, I don't want to do that, so you make up some excuse. No, just say no. You don't have to say I can't. It's like you can, but you're not going to. It's much more satisfying just to say it. It's like Ellie says, no is the best word. It's a complete sentence. It's just no. You don't need explanations. You don't need, well, I'm not sure, maybe not. Right now, the answer is no, period. And it's very, very, very awesome. Because saying no to other things means you get to say yes to the things that are important to you. And guess what? If it's important to you, that's what matters. It's your life. It's not anyone else's. Someone else can say yes to everything. That's their life. Okay, cool. A lot of people say yes to everything. And depending on your independence and how you have your life forged and what you do, and that's why you want to get to the point where you can say no, right? If you have a 9-to-5 job and your boss says you have to do X, Y, and Z, you can't say no if you want that job. So the more independence you have, the more sovereignty you have, you're able to say no. So I recommend that your goal long-term is to be able to say no to more things. There are certain things you might have to say yes to because of that situation. So go towards that direction. What can help you say no to more things? I really think that's a good fundamental approach. The whole like, yes, man, say yes to more things in life. You've heard that, right? Say yes. You're trying different things. Say yes. Maybe when you're younger, you say yes to a lot of things. You try different things. You're like, all right, that sucks, but not long-term. I mean, I think you should learn this lesson earlier, but no is great. Yeah, in Spanish, you could learn no in Spanish. No. In French, no. In Italian, no. In German, nein. It's universal. No, no. Everyone understands that. Just shake your head and go, no. Just grunt. Jarella, ooh, that's a good topic. Let's continue with this. Probably my top pet peeve is someone pressing my no. No is a complete statement, not an invitation to debate. Agreed. Well, this is also going to help you filter out your circle and who's actually supportive of you, right? Again, getting back to the other person, I don't mind. The person had troll, like Sir trolls a lot. So I know they're trolling. Okay, I don't have friends or I don't have many friends. I don't have many friends. Why would I? I have shit I want to accomplish and I have things I enjoy doing. I have really close friends. And you guys know, really close friends you can talk to once every couple months or a few weeks or a year goes by. You're like, yo, what up? And it goes back because you're doing things. It's not that you don't care about the other person. Like you're both busy and you're doing things for yourself, but you care about the other person and you understand you're both on the same level. You're not up each other's ass all the time. You have different relationship with different people. That's fine. But the true friends are people that understand and that are on the same path and the same journey. People that you can communicate, that you get value from. Everyone else can take a hike. Jarella says the moment they start the, oh, come on, instantly mad. I hate it so much. Agreed. And the beautiful thing is, what's awesome, like my phone is always on silent and do not disturb. There's only a couple people where like my phone will actually notify me and like, hey, I'd pick up or I'd answer right away for a text message. For most people, you're not getting a response right away. And people learn like, hey, if they want a response right away, they're not going to get one. They're not going to get a response right away. I'm not going to say yes. And then people stop asking, and it's fantastic. And the people that are your friends and that care about you, they don't take it personally. And those are good people. And other people can fuck off. PK says, sad to people as I say, I'd much rather sit in silence enjoying my day outside than going to get together where I have nobody's undivided attention. I go without a phone to be open, not to be ignored. And again, when it comes down to community, pillar number one, you want to be your best community with yourself. If you can't spend time with yourself in silence and quiet, you have a lot of work to do. That's just my personal take on it. If you need to be on your phone or you're very codependent, you need other people around you, you know, that's an issue. That's an issue. You should be able to be 100% on your own and 100% with yourself. And I'm not saying don't spend time with other people, but I'm saying you need to be a fulfilled person on your own. You're not depending on your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or close friends to have value in this life you're not dependent on other people. You should be dependent on yourself. Delta, with work, I've become selfish with my time because I've grown to have such a low tolerance for bullshit. Agreed. And listen, I don't want to sit around and talk about the game or like look at the weather and like, you know, this and the other. I'm not going to sit around and talk politics with people that are retarded. You know, I'm not going to volunteer these things because, and again, it has nothing to do with an ego or thinking that I'm better than anyone else, but I know much more than most people, and I can't have a valuable conversation with most people. They're just not on the same level. They don't have the same information, and it's just like the small talk, stupid shit. I'm not interested. I'd rather just sit around and think or listen to a podcast or be out in the garden, be out in the sun and just chill. Much more important, much more peaceful life. Dr. Delta, the phone is on do not disturb and stays that way unless a phone call is expected. It's great. 100%. Cerny says if you say no the right way the first time, people will get it. For example, I said fucking no, bitch. It works. Absolutely. I agree.
I give it a 10. A 10. A fucking 10.
Jarella's hitting home runs over here on YouTube. If you have lost your ability to self-soothe or be alone with your own thoughts, you have really screwed your attention span with devices. That dopamine trickle from scrolling is not good. Yeah, this is why if I'm doing anything, now multitasking isn't really a thing, but of course if I'm out in the garden or I'm laying out getting some sun or I'm doing something, I'm listening to a podcast, there's some things you could do passively. You know, you're doing something, your attention, that's not necessarily splitting your attention the same way. But that's why I like to listen to something. It doesn't have to take my eyes. I can think and I can still do things independently. Or reading a book. Reading a book is really important because it's like a meditation. So if you're reading a book, you're reading the book and you're not thinking about other things. You're focusing on the page. You're becoming one with the story or whatever you're reading. And it's very much, that's what attention is. If you focus your attention, you're more peaceful. Again, what do we do a lot with the mindfulness and the meditation? You focus on the breath. Why? Because you're focusing on one thing. There's always things entering your mind, whether you want them to or not. But if you have a focal point, you're able to kind of erase other things around you and focus your attention. So meditation helps you focus your attention. Same thing with reading. It helps you focus your attention and not be split. If you're on your phone, you are reactive. You are looking at whatever the phone wants to show you. It's a big trap. So start by putting your phone in airplane mode, leaving it in your office. I leave my phone in my office all the time. And if I want to send an email or check something, or I come into the office, I check it and I leave it there. A lot of good strategies. And the problem with things like kids is that they're not able to be bored, right? They always have to have a toy or some sort of screen. And if they don't have that, they're bored, which is lunacy. You know, if we have kids, I want my kid to go outside and, oh, I'm bored. No, you're not. They're never going to be bored. Go outside with a stick and dig a hole. Go climb a tree. Go cut some branches. Go watch a caterpillar eat a leaf. Like, go outside and figure it out. Because you give them something to play with, they're going to get bored with it after a while and want something new, want a new stimulus. They have to create that stimulus and creativity from the inside. Go use your imagination and go outside and figure it out. Don't just give them things to do. It's a trap. They could read books and stuff, but go do something. Go do something. Go be creative. They don't need toys. There's plenty of toys. Go get a stick. Oh, a mango fell from a tree. Go and chop it up or throw it around the yard or pull it apart and eat it or something like that. Just go do stuff. Scrape your knees, get dirty, go dig a hole, go watch some centipedes climb through the dirt, whatever. They don't need to be taught to be consumers when they're out of the womb. And that's what people teach their kids. They just teach their kids to absorb. Hey, sit in front of the screen. Here's this toy. When you're bored, we'll get you another one. You're just like, next. Go outside and be creative. Create your own toys. Drella says, also don't soothe or occupy kids with food. That is how emotional eating and boredom eating is taught. Kids don't need a snack every time they're in the car. Exactly. And they don't need the iPad or anything like that. Right? Look out the window and play the alphabet game, right? Look at a sign. Oh, I saw an A. I saw a B. Just look outside. Look at the trees. Think. Make your own fun. Martial Arts Mama says, my 16-year-old daughter is out in the chicken and duck pen. My 12-year-old is mowing the lawn. My 5-year-old is running with the dogs. It's awesome. That's awesome. There you go. That's it. Absolutely it. All right, let's get into some more stuff. All right, drop in the comments down below. Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. First one that pops up, we're going to jump into it. Unless we have a real short one. Ugh. We got a short one first. Pick a number 1 or 2. This one's called Undocumented Criminals. Absolutely.
What's in the box?
Undocumented criminals. You mean criminals. You mean illegals.
Why do I care
Jesus Christ.
what their status was when they committed the crime?
What, bro? Is that a soundboard?
Why do I care what their status was when they committed the crime?
Let's see where this goes.
If you can prove they committed a crime. I say in the book, if I get shot, if I get murdered by an undocumented immigrant, please tell my children I did not care that they were undocumented.
Right.
That's true. That's true. Is he based or is he an idiot? Because that's just true. Yeah, if you get killed, I don't care where they are, but yeah, a criminal is a criminal. But undocumented, you mean illegal. So let's not use the term undocumented. They're not undocumented. They're criminals. They're not legally here. They shouldn't be here. So he's correct, but I'm not sure the context of if he's defending it. Like, I don't care if a criminal is a criminal. Sure. If they're illegal, it's not undocumented. It's not undocumented. They are illegally, if they don't have documentation, they're not legally here. And if they commit a crime, that's just even more reason to deport them. So I don't care what they do. By being illegal, they've committed the crime by entering the country illegally. So if you are illegal, if you're undocumented, you want to call it that, you're already a criminal. You illegally enter the country, you're gone. If you're illegal and you committed a crime, you're just gone immediately. You're just more quickly gone. Not really sure what you're trying to... Don't forget, undocumented is illegal. You are a criminal. If you've legally come into this country and you have a green card or a visa or whatever, that's not undocumented. Okay, this is what these people don't understand. And you have no obligation to maintain that visa or maintain that green card. If you're not, or I should say, if you're not officially a U.S. citizen, then you have no right for us to, you're not guaranteed citizenship. So if you have a temporary stay, right? Let's say, oh, we let you in this country. Hey, you went through the paperwork. Cool. But then you're protesting and you're outside creating violence and get the fuck out of our country. Get out. You're not guaranteed any of the protections that American citizens have just because you're here. If you come into the country and you lie and you pretend like, hey, I want to be a citizen, I want to provide this value to your country, and then you try to tear it apart or you hate this country and you're protesting, then you can go back home. Get the fuck out. You're not guaranteed citizenship. You don't have a right to citizenship. You're a guest. And you lied or you became a piece of shit or radicalized, fine, go back home. That's it. It's not complicated. If you don't want to be here and you prove it, then we're not going to let you stay. It's so stupid. And they should be. If you're going to some leftist protest, then you get your shit revoked. Get out. You're not an American citizen. You do not believe in the foundations of this country. We do not want you here. If you do not want to be an American, this is one thing that I don't like. I don't like the whole Asian American, African American. I don't like this whole segment. I don't call myself white American. You're an American or you're not. If you're not American, then you're not American. Why do we have to have like these designations? I think that whole fundamental thing is you're from Africa. No, you're not. Your ancestors, you're not African American, Asian American. No, you're American or you're not. If you want to play that game, you're American or you're not. You're a citizen or you're not. And if you're not a citizen, you better toe the line and you better assimilate. Otherwise, get the fuck out of our country. I don't see why that's complicated. And most people with triple digit IQs don't understand why that's complicated, which is why there's a problem, because most people are retarded. So go to notretarded.com and get the truth. Get the truth, notretarded.com. Okay, let's do this one. And then we'll end with, I guess, a political one because it's that lunatic congresswoman. I think that's Ilhan Omar. We'll do that one last. This one's called Former Fat. We'll do this number one
What's
first.
in the box?
It's always been really weird to me when someone who has always been bigger gets like super skinny and they start completely shitting on what they used to look like.
That's a cat, by the way.
And like, I have a friend from high school who we had very similar body types, I think. And she'll post pictures now of when she was way bigger and just talk about how disgusting she was. And it's like, you are literally proving that you're not a safe person when it comes to like weight and shit like that, because you literally are bullying the younger you. That's so weird. And maybe I feel different because I've had 3 kids and that's why
Oh shit, she
my body
reproduced.
looks the way it does now.
I'm sure that's why.
But I'm like comfortable with it.
You
I've
sound
always been
comfortable.
bigger,
Yeah.
but now I just like love the way that I look. I don't know. It can really show you how much people fucking hate themselves though.
Yeah, she sounds like she loves the way she looks. Feel bad for her kids and her cat. Jesus Christ. We didn't make it in time, fam. We didn't make it in time. Aww. She reproduced. Pitman says that's why she changed her life. She realized it was a terrible way to live. Yep. Okay. However, she's the one that's making videos about it, trying to justify how she loves her body. If you saw the video that I saw, well, that sounds like a cope. All right, last one. White man.
What's in the box?
Right? Like the same thing. This is called white men, right? Like I don't have like, I'm proud, black pride, Asian pride, white pride. The only race that is, I guess, acceptable to hate is white men. Like I don't care about your skin color. If you're an idiot, you're an idiot. And well, speaking of idiots, let's play this short video, 24 seconds.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
You can't make up this kind of retardation. White men are... Okay, I'll just play the rest of it.
We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Why is she in this country? Why do people vote for her? Why is this absolute racist train wreck allowed in our government? These are the people that should be kicked out or removed from government. Period. You hate this country. She's a racist. She's also retarded. It's a shame. It's a shame that we allow people that hate the country. I can't believe. I mean, one, like China shouldn't be owning any kind of land in this country. That's insane. And people that hate this country should be removed from office. Like, this is removable offenses, in my opinion. Shocking. Shocking. Not surprising, but shocking. And she's hopefully one of the reasons why the Democrats never win another election. All right. Oops. Absolute train wreck. Let's do a throwback. Let's have some... Let's get a little palate cleanse. Ooh, an older item named White Men already exists in this location. Do you want to replace it with a newer one you're moving? So many videos about white men. Okay. Yeah, where are the facts on that? Where are the numbers that white men cause all the death? No, it's not actually white men. The destruction and the death, we know. We know that the vast majority of crime is not from white men. Who's it from, people? Who do we know? Who do we know overwhelmingly? What percentage of the what smaller percentage of the population commits the vast majority of the crime? Drum roll. All right, let's do this one. Throwback.
In regards to an overweight child, you mean their body size. I mean their mental health and development.
Wrongo.
See, because overweight children are at high risk of weight-based stigma, or as you might call it, bullying.
Bitch, please.
Bullying is not good, but it can be in context. I'm not saying we should encourage bullying, but people need to have more shame for not investing in themselves. That's a cultural thing. That's a societal thing.
And I don't know if you know this, but there are a lot of negative health outcomes from constant exposure to psychological stress.
Tell me something I don't know.
Good. So let's reinforce people and their ability to handle psychological stress better. Let's not medicate them. Let's not feed them garbage food. Let's get them exercising and getting some more sunlight. That'd be a good idea. That'd be a good start. All right, let's double up. Let's do another one. I'm in the mood. What we got here?
I want to know what it's like to exist in the world as a thin person.
You can start by making better lifestyle choices.
All of the privileges that come along with that.
The privileges of not having to turn your body sideways when you walk through a door frame.
To be liked by people regardless of your personality.
That doesn't happen.
Matt Damon.
To be liked regardless of your personality. Who the fuck likes people based on their body size?
Because pretty privilege is so real. And people who meet the beauty standard can, meet a bunch of new people and be instantly liked.
Relax, it's just about sex.
They could have a shit personality and they will still be treated with respect.
Liked, respect. I don't think you understand what you're saying. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah. Well, probably because people are attracted to them. Just like the little meme said, like, it's just about sex. Yeah. Look, if you're attractive, people are going to want to bang you. This is why you have to understand what people's intentions are. If you're an attractive woman, you're going to have people that want to have sex with you. Ooh, shocker. Yeah, I don't look around and be like, okay, that person's not fat. I'll be friends with them. That's a weird thing. Again, it's bigotry, right? What she's talking about is being a bigot. That's like saying like, oh, that person's a certain skin color. I don't want to be friends with them. Oh, that person's fat, so I don't want to be friends with them. Or that person's muscular. I can't surround myself with that because they're fat phobic. You know? It's just this, they're projecting their own bigotry onto other people, right? Just like Ilhan Omar. It's like, it's the white people. It's like, you just hate. Like, these are the people, these are the racists, these are the genocidal maniacs, and they're pretending like everyone else is oppressing them, but that's their way. That's the victimhood mentality. That's the marginalization approach. That's the Marxism, the oppressors and the oppressed. They have to feel oppressed. They have to act like they are oppressed. That way they can wage war against the other, which is white men or people that exercise or that eat steak and aren't retarded. That's what they're doing. Okay. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, let's get into today's Swole card. We have one for you. Make America Swole. Drop that in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here, Beaches. Let's give the Swole card away. And we'll be back tomorrow for another amazing Mancast. Thanks for being here, Beaches. Make America Swole. Today's winner is the one, the only, the great Dr. Delta.
Congratulations!
Keep on saying no, my guy, but don't say no to the Swole card. Send us an email to support@swolemers.com, Swole card 3287 in the subject, your mailing address, in the body of the email, and we'll send you the Swole card. So say yes to the Swole card. Say no to everything else. Thanks for playing. Congratulations, A.A. Ron. Any last chance, last second questions? Drop in the comments. Annie says, I was bullied as a kid and I was by no means an overweight kid. Yeah, kids just get bullied. And if they have a tough childhood, maybe they might, express it to other kids, bullying and this kind of stuff. Again, this is why kids need exercise, they need quality food, and they need martial arts, and they need to understand their own strength. They need to build self-confidence. And look, I think there should be jujitsu and stuff in every school every morning. You'd have kids that understand how to defend themselves. They're going to understand their power. They're going to understand how to, build their own self-esteem, confidence, everything I already said. And you won't have the same type of conflicts. Usually a lot of this hatred is based on fear, anxiety, garbage food, stress, fluorescent lighting. It's all these other aspects of just kind of trying to dull kids' flames and to dim their light bulbs. But if you actually facilitate what young boys, especially, and girls, what kids need, a lot of these problems will be solved with the food and exercise, and it's unfortunate that you have a lot of parents that will just inject their kids with 80 experimental drugs and vaccines with all the adjuvants and stabilizers and fillers that destroy their body, destroy their gut, destroy their mind. They're pumping them full of food. They're giving them ADHD medication and garbage ingredients and then sitting them in these torture chambers of artificial fluorescent lights. And they wonder why their kids are acting out. It's because you're poisoning your children from the moment you poison them in the womb, and you're poisoning them every moment since they're born. So you're just stupefying your kids. You're putting them in front of screens and TVs and pumping them full of drugs and artificial ingredients. And you wonder why your kids are acting out, and you wonder why X, Y, and Z. It's so obvious. It's really hard to explain this stuff to people. They just don't understand. And you have to get used to that. You have to get used to people being retarded. You have to get used to people just not understanding how humanity works. It's frustrating. It can be demoralizing, but that's why you have to create your own communities. You have to isolate. You have to say no more. You have to homeschool your kids. You really just need to step up as a parent and as a community leader, even if it's your community of one or your small community of your family and your surroundings. You have to make sure that you are that beacon of reality and actually trying to prepare young humans for a world that is really distraught, that's really ravaged in terms of attention, in terms of purpose. And you have to give kids that purpose and make sure you don't dim their creativity and dim their imagination, because that's why humanity has gotten to this point. But you can see the degradation of culture and society and just regurgitated shit, and the meme culture of everyone just being a hive mind and just absorbing and being told what to think, told what's funny, laugh tracks on shows and stuff. It's really cringe. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. Save your attention. If you're watching something as a family, watch a movie, watch long form content, listen to long podcasts, read books, really get your attention back, cultivate your environment. Don't shatter yourself into a million pieces. It's very important. So go to the fucking gym. Take care of yourself. Thanks for being here. If you want to join the fam, SwoleNormousX.com. Check out those new releases. Check out merch. Buy one, get one 50% over at papaswolio.com. We do have those new products coming. We got new yoga. We got the new Pumpachu merch. We got a lot of great stuff that's now available. So go check it all out on the links. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like...
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies.